So without getting into the introductory nonsense, we'll get straight to the point. Uh, Today, I'll be talking about certain elements of cinema that basically defines human beings for who they are. It doesn't define cinema, it doesn't define itself. They are basically what makes humans human. That's why cinema, as a part of art, plays a huge role in helping us understand ourselves. So the first point is about why cinema is more of a mirror. It shows you who you are. When a person sits in front of a big screen or a small screen or just in front of his tablet or laptop, anything where cinema is at display, what is generally going on or usually going on is uh, they are seeing themselves. They're trying to find themselves, whether the character is heroic or a coward or anything. Basically, humans have this desire to find themselves. So there's this uh, constant urge to look for a mirror, and cinema provides this endlessly. Like whichever movie you find, irrespective of the languages, you'll somehow connect with someone on the screen. That character will resonate with you, even if you don't understand what the character is talking about. So that's why cinema is a mirror. The second point was cinema is a fraud, but at the same time, it's a necessary fraud. So when you go to a mall and spend 500 rupees on a movie, uh, what you're doing is you're being part of a scam, but you are doing it knowingly. You buy your popcorns, you enter the hall, you take a seat, you start watching, and at that moment, what is happening is you are the one who is acting, not the ones who are on the screen. Because the ones who are on the screen, the actors, they are professionals. They already know that they are doing the job. But the reaction that you are providing for yourself, for your own amusement, you could be crying, laughing, you'd be disgusted by certain scenes or dialogues, or you are thrilled to see certain things happen. What is happening at during those moments is you are the tables have turned. You have become the actor, despite knowing very well that whatever is unfolding in front of you is fake. It's a scam of the highest order. But still, being human, you want to believe in certain things for a limited period of time. You want one scene to be this, like this or that, and you may not be happy with the way a certain uh, uh, moment wasn't executed well. So you'll say that this scene could have been done better, or that action scene should have been more realistic, which itself is so ironic because nothing is real, right? Everything that is happening out there in the name of cinema is fake, but you are so emotionally invested because that's what cinema is all about. It keeps on revealing again and again that it's not about cinema, it's about you. So that's one element of cinema that I find fascinating, because imagine those people, those professionals, the filmmaker, the cinematographer, the every single person who is associated with cinema, he knows that it's it's made up world. Everything is scripted. Nothing is real. But still, it's you as a commoner, as a part of public, who sits in the dark, quite literally blinded by the power of cinema. And you are the one who is whistling, who is exuberant about certain moments in a movie, or crying your heart out. Just imagine how contradictory that is. But that again attests to my original point that cinema reveals us. It doesn't reveal itself. It doesn't have the power to reveal itself. It keeps on revealing us. So that was the second element that I wanted to emphasize on. The third element is cinema is in broad understanding, it's a relay of photographs, but that is the technical part. On the metaphorical side of the story, what cinema is basically uh, a charade of moments. That's what it is. You rarely, no matter how many times you watch a movie, you rarely remember the entire flow, because that's not what cinema is supposed to serve you. What cinema is supposed to do for you is fill you up with moments. The moment when Jack dies, or his body is like frozen, and Rose wakes up and she realizes that he's dead, and you can you still remember that moment, because for you, you were invested in that moment when that happened. So the moment his body is heavily frozen body sinks into the ocean, you remember that instance. So cinema is built of moments, and that is also true about life, because we can't have the entirety of a day. If I ask you to tell me which is the most memorable day of your life, and you'll struggle. Even if you come up with a day or date, it's very difficult to go with the sequence of the entire order, like uh, what happened in the morning or whatever. You might have moments that, okay, I had this and that for breakfast, and then this happened, but there is always this segue of moments. It's never a coherent display of what really happened. And that can be faulted to our memory, the way human memory is made, but that also is kind of reminiscent of why cinema is basically uh, a charade, a phrase that I love using again and again in my blogs too. It's a charade of moments, and we keep on going back to them again and again. So when we say that I love watching Shawshank Redemption again and again, it doesn't really mean that I'm watching that movie again and again. It it typically means that I'm going from moments to moments. I love when Andy Dufresne helps his fellow prisoners get a bottle of beer under the sun. So it's about moving from one moment to another. And that is the third element that I want to emphasize, and which brings us to the last element of this particular video. Cinema ages with you. It's just like you are aging, just like when you meet a friend from 10 years ago or 15 years ago. The last time you met him was in 2004 or 5, and now you're meeting him in 2021. uh, he tells you that you have changed, and you tell him that he has changed. But the matter of the fact is, time works in a cyclical fashion. So when people uh, tell one another that changes in motion, they don't really understand that that's exactly how time is supposed to function. Without change, there is no passage of time, and this can't be truer than with cinema. The way you construed a movie back in, let's say, 1999, when you first watched Fight Club, and how you look at it now that you're older and your teeth is decaying and your knees are hurting and your wrinkles are sprouting, will be completely different, because back then you are a person who saw things differently. And similarly, uh, that stream of thoughts have changed. They have like uh, they're not they have not crystallized as such, but they keep on forming a lump, but with time they keep on changing. And what that reveals about you is the movie hasn't changed, but still, just because you have changed, the movie has also changed. Otherwise, what the filmmaker and the writers and the makers, all the people who got behind that movie, what they wanted to make and what they ended up making, uh, it is independent of how you are supposed to perceive it. But with time, you are constantly changing. And with your change, even the movie that you watched or watching again is changing. And that, I believe, is one of the most fascinating elements of cinema, uh, which uh, which I haven't experienced with uh, books or painting or other forms of art that I enjoy or I'm invested in. Let's say I uh, felt a certain manner when I first heard Lucky Ali's songs from Cipher. Um, the emotions that I had back then as a schoolboy, the same emotions are like like uh, rechannelized even today. That emotion hasn't changed, but the same can't be said about a movie. Uh, I might have watched a Govinda movie, and if I watch it again, I I I may not laugh at the jokes which I laughed like crazy back then. So that's one distinguishing element that I've noticed about cinema, which I wanted to uh, share in this short or rather short video. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.